All right, we are live for another fantasy mock draft. Due to technical difficulties, we missed the first six picks, but no surprises thus far. We had Justin Jefferson at one, Jamar Chase at two, C-Mac at three, Bijan at four. That's something I wanted to cover in this draft. Bijan at four, wow, that's probably the earliest I've seen Bijan get taken. Tyreek Hill, Stephon Diggs, Travis Kelce. So apart from Bijan, everything else are standard picks. We have AJ Brown at eight, okay. And then we are the 11th pick, by the way. So I think the best bet would be to take Nick Chubb or Saquon Barkley. Austin Eckler at nine, okay. So yeah, Nick Chubb or Saquon Barkley is the best option. All right, Nick Chubb went, so I'm pretty confident in going Saquon Barkley. Had a great bounce back season last year after having some injury, riddled seasons after that amazing rookie year. Really, really excited to see what he brings, as he kind of goes into the prime of his career. And we pick again at two, and we're picking right now. Definitely would like to get a receiver, given the receiving core is so strong. Could go running another running back, but I'm gonna wait on that, and I'm gonna go a really good receiver. I'm thinking either Jalen. I'm gonna go Garrett Wilson, just because I'm looking at the quarterback, and I'm looking at Aaron Rodgers and Garrett Wilson being a prolific duo this season. Really like Garrett Wilson. He had a great season last year. Pretty confident in that. Chris Olave went right before that. Who's also a great receiver, bound for a great season. Amon Ra, Devontae going right after Garrett Wilson. Um, Cooper Cup. Okay, so looks like due to Cooper Cup's setback with the hamstring injury, he fell hard. He was, initially going in the first round, first 10 picks, and he fell to the second round. He may not be available week one due to his hamstring injury, so that's something to monitor as we go into the start of the season. CeeDee Lamb getting picked, and then Tony Pollard, great running back. Derrick Henry. Okay, so um, I think we definitely go running back next. Our next pick, just because the cream of the crop will be dwindling quick with running backs. Receiving core, I mean, for the wide receiver, there's such, a large, just so much depth at that position. So, um, let's quickly look to see if there's, so based on where we're picking, I think we'll probably get around the Najee Brees Hall area, maybe Aaron Jones. I wouldn't mind taking Aaron Jones. He would be a safe pick. I think Green Bay will utilize a lot of the run game. Brees Hall, I like Brees Hall, but I don't know, that injury, it'll be interesting. And you have Dalvin in the backfield now, who's a reliable back, so his opportunity will definitely be cut. Um, Definitely staying away from Jonathan Taylor. We'll see who falls to us. Jalen Waddle, Devontae Smith, Josh Jacobs, Calvin Ridley, Patrick Mahomes, first quarterback to be taken off the board. So far, pretty standard picks. I would say the big surprise is definitely Bijan Robinson, and I wanted to kind of get into Bijan Robinson. There's been, obviously at the midpoint of the offseason, there's a lot of hype as to see, where he's going to land, and a lot of the mock drafts, the early mock drafts had him, top seven, top 8. But I think in the last like 3, 4 weeks, I always feel like the last 3, 4 weeks are a very interesting point before the season because a lot of things can change. Contract situations come to light. A lot of players, situations in terms of where their career is heading comes to light. Things like that. So, and then you also look at um, players getting traded, things like that. So, and I think as all of that kind of surfaced, you kind of look at the hype that was given to Bijan Robinson so early, and then now everyone's kind of like backing off. Like, okay, is this guy really for real? The perception can change. As there's a lot of jitters going into the year. So, and he got picked at 4, so that's something I was really looking for. Like, I thought maybe he would fall, and I think he has been falling in some of the rounds. I mean, in some of the drafts. So it'll be interesting to see how he does. But he won at number 4 in this draft, so something that's very surprising, I would say, in terms of how the drafts have gone overall. So just quick little recap before we pick. So Mark Andrews at Josh Allen, Jalen Hurts, back-to-back quarterbacks, Jahmyr Gibbs, great running back who has a lot of potential, T. Higgins, DK Metcalf, and then another quarterback, Lamar. So I'm thinking Etienne would be a really good back. Joe Mixon would be good as well in terms of running back, but there is a lot of great. Yeah, I think we can kind of weigh on. We can get it since we picked pretty close. We can pick a receiver next, so I think we should lock down a running back first. Amari Cooper, Saquon Wilson, strong duo. Appreciate that. Appreciate the love. All right, Debo Samuel. Okay, so I'm thinking we take Travis Etienne here, just because I think he had a great season last year, and that Jacksonville offense is really going to be something this year. And I think a lot of people are seeing them as like a wild card team or something like that. But I mean, I think they'll be very explosive. I think Etienne will be a big reason why, in addition to Trevor Lawrence and with the running back game really evolving to pass catching, it'll be interesting to see what he can do. All right, here's our pick again. As I said earlier, definitely want to take a receiver. I like DJ Moore. I like Christian Watson. Mike Williams would be a safe pick. Um, who's our tight end? DJ Hawkinson, Darren Waller, George Kittle. No, I think I'll go receiver. You know what? I feel really strong about this guy. I think he'll have a good bounce back season after injury riddled. I'm gonna go Mike Williams here. No, always happens, man. DJ Moore. Okay. I mean, I can't really be upset at that pick. Would have liked to gotten Mike Williams, but I can't be mad at DJ Moore. Oh man, this always happens to me. There's like a 10-second lag when it comes to underdog at times. It doesn't let you, it doesn't give you the full amount of time. So I gotta have like at least like a 15-second buffer, meaning I get 15 seconds to actually lock in my pick. So I gotta be a little bit more efficient here. Hopkins went pretty early. Wow, fourth round pick. Ramondre Stevenson. I mean, I liked Etienne. I really like what he brings to the table. Definitely I like Ramondre, but I think Etienne's a good option. And we have Saquon Barkley as well, so I think the running back core is pretty strong. And then you got a good receiving core thus far: Garrett Wilson, DJ Moore. Um, so yeah, Mike Williams, okay, just got picked. Christian Watson, Najee, Justin Fields, okay, fourth round pick. Definitely a lot of expectations for him in terms of the rushing game. Aaron Jones, running back. Aaron Jones. Okay, so this guy, Bayou is taking their time. Okay, Brandon Ayuk. So just quick take a quick look to see who we have. So we got two running backs, two receivers. And let's see if there's any prospects for tight end. No, I mean George Kittle, if he still falls, maybe I can consider. Um, but I think I'm definitely gonna stack up on receivers here. Running back, running back. There's still a decent amount of running backs, so let's see what happens here. Drake London, T.J. Hawkinson. Okay, so that's I think that's the third tight end to be taken off the board. So and T.J. Hawkinson just got a nice contract, so we'll see if he can, live up to expectations. Jonathan Taylor. Okay, fourth round pick. Okay, we'll see how he holds up given his situation in Indianapolis. Brees Hall. We'll see how he performs after a tough injury last year with the ACL tear. Trevor Lawrence, okay. Ooh, what are the quarterbacks too? Joe Burrow, Justin Herbert. Anybody we can stack here? I mean, it's too early to take Rodgers. Fields already won. There we go. Justin Herbert just went. Um, you can come back to the stack later depending on who we get for wide receivers. Joe Burrow. All right. So the elite quarterbacks, I would say, have been taken. Deontay Johnson getting taken. Just taking a quick look here at the receivers. I like Christian Kirk. Tyler Lockett, I would say, is a safe pick. George Pickens, I would say, is a really good pick given, second year player. I think Kenny Pickett also. So it would be interesting to stack Kenny Pickett. And but Kenny Pickett's a really late pick. So maybe I can go George Pickens here and then maybe try to get Kenny Pickett later, kind of stack those two up. That would be interesting. It might be a little bit of a reach given that, Kenny and George are very young, but and I would be taking him ahead of these couple of these players, but I just have a good feeling about George Pickens, so I think I'm gonna ride with that. Darren Waller, tight end. Tyler Lockett. Oh, yeah, Tyler Lockett. As I said earlier, the safe pick he got taken. Ken Walker getting taken. Let's take a quick look at the running backs to see if we didn't miss anybody in terms of, somebody we can kind of steal. Now, Alexander Madison actually isn't a terrible idea. Um, hmm. So we got two running backs, two receivers. You know what? Since I think Alexander Madison will probably fall and I get a pretty close range pick, I'm gonna go Alexander Madison actually. And I think I'll ideally get George Pickens. So I'm gonna go Alexander Madison, lock up on good value running back, and then, let's try to get George Pickens here, and then we can try to get Kenny Pickett later. And Jays, good time for Jays. Nice. And Terry McLaurin. All right, do not pick George Pickens, please. James Cook. Okay. All right. So I'm feeling. I like Christian Kirk. Godwin's reliable, but I can't really trust him with Baker Mayfield. I like Christian Kirk, but I'm gonna go George Pickens just because I have a feeling he's gonna really break out. He had some great plays, as a rookie, so I feel good about George Pickens. So far, our receiving core is pretty solid. I mean, we got Garrett Wilson, DJ Moore, George Pickens, all expected to have some great seasons. Our running backs, I think we got Saquon, Etienne, Madison. Those are some great value running backs right there. Let's look at tight ends now. We got some players in the receiving and running back core. So let's look at tight ends. Kyle Pitts, Dallas Goedert. I mean, actually, I think another route we can honestly take is we can get Pat Fryermuth and then also get Kenny Pickett. So if we can get those guys at the end, or actually not even at the end, we can get these guys next, stack up. Yeah, I think we can do that because if we get Kenny Pickett and Pat Fryermuth, you got like a quadruple, no, not quadruple. You got a double stack with him and Pickens and him and Fryermuth. Crappy math, sorry. JSN getting picked. A lot of hype with him coming into Seattle. I think he's the first. Is he the first receiving wide receiver, rookie wide receiver to get taken? I think he is. Seeing Godwin, Gabe Davis. I thought he would get picked a little later. Chris Godwin, Jahan Dotson in good value pick. Miles Sanders, Mike Evans. A lot of talk about Mike Evans to see, what his situation will be. Not too sure on how that's playing out. I think he's kind of holding out on a contract thing. I'm not sure, I think this year he'll probably end up playing in Tampa Bay, but we'll see what he ends up doing next year. Something to look out for fantasy owners. Javonte Williams, some expectations for him given he's coming off that ACL tear. So looking forward to see what he brings. All right, so let's look at the receivers here. Jordan Addison, um, Zay Flowers, Michael Pittman. All right, so this might be a reach by the time it comes to me because picking Pat Freiermuth in the seventh round, is that a good value pick? We're looking at 73, so his ADP is 105, so we'll be picking him very, very early. So honestly, I think we can still get Pat Freiermuth by waiting around and Kenny Pickett as well. So I don't think we need to really jump the gun there. So I would say let's continue to stack up on the receivers and then we can kind of come back to that triple stack. That's a better way. It's triple stack we were talking about. Um, but Jordan Addison got taken. I wanted him. David Montgomery, Hollywood Brown. Let's see the running backs here. Kamara, James Conner actually wouldn't be a bad pick given that, he's the primary back in Arizona. So I wouldn't really mind taking him. So honestly, I think what we can do here is we can take a running back and we can take a receiver. I would say if we get four running backs, four receivers, we can really be in a position to take a quarterback and a tight end. That too a good value one. So I think it would definitely be worth. So just looking quickly at where Pat Freiermuth would land in terms of the tight end. Yeah, he's pretty far in the tight end, ADP 105. So I think I'll be able to get him. So let me go running back and receiver here. So I'm gonna go James Conner for running back. Let's see if he falls to me here. Actually, I don't know if I'll get him. No, I don't think I'll be doing a double timing formation. I think, the best we're taking, it would be kind of, I think I would get some better value elsewhere in terms of the draft at this point. So James Conner still on the board, and yes, he will fall to me. I'm going to take James Conner here. I'm feeling really good about my running backs now. I got Barkley, Etienne, Madison, and James Conner. I mean, these are all running back ones on their respective teams. So that's something to be absolutely ecstatic about. Receivers, let's get a good one here. Brandon Cooks, Quentin Johnston. Okay, but there was a news about him being a receiver for. All right, so we got to make a decision. Brandon Cooks. I like Brandon Cooks. I think he's a good value pick there. Tight end. You know what? I'm gonna go with Brandon Cooks. He's a safe pick. I liked him over the years in New Orleans, New England. He had a good value on the Texans last year as well. So I'm gonna go Brandon Cooks. And then Tua Tagovailoa and Khalil Herbert getting picked in between my picks. So far I like my team. I really, really like it. So my thing, I'm really, really happy with my running backs. I think that panned out pretty well. My receivers are pretty good. I would have liked to get Mike Williams, but I can't really say I'm upset about DJ Moore. And then I'm pretty confident in George Pickens, and I like that safety and that insurance in Brandon Cooks. So I think it would be best to look at a tight end now. See Pat Freiermuth, his ADP is kind of coming up to where the draft is now. All right, so yep, Quentin Johnston has not been taken, so I think it's pretty aware his receiving situation. Um, so in terms of receivers, let's see who's left or who's deep down. So Rashad Bateman, I really like Rashad Bateman. Not gonna lie, I think you gotta even start looking at the quarterback situation. So quarterbacks, there's still a decent amount of quarterbacks left. Kenny Pickett's actually pretty far down the line, so we can honestly wait on quarterbacks and let's take a receiver and take a tight end. I think we're honestly good on running backs. Very, very confident on what they all can bring to the table. So I would say let's continue to really build on the receivers here and let's get a tight end. And oh, we're pretty far away. So we got 15 picks. So let's see just to catch up here with who got picked. DeAndre Swift, Deshaun Watson, Cortland Sutton, Sky Moore. Sky Moore, eighth round. Okay. Elijah Moore are the draft picks. Quentin Johnston. Okay. I think it's still good to take him in the eighth round, but it will definitely be take a little bit of, time for him to really get into the mix, given that, Joshua Palmer was upgraded to a wide receiver three. And I think that can be a later pick, given, that underrated value that we can get probably later, maybe like in the 11th or 12th round. All right, so receivers, Rashad Bateman's still here. Actually, I'm not that surprised given his ADP, but I feel like he's healthy. Definitely could be a good pick here. Let's see if he goes. If not, I think my goal. He's definitely good. He's I no shot of getting him, so we can forget that. Dalvin Cook, all right, AJ Dillon, Dalvin Cook, Isaiah Pacheco. Last few picks here, all running backs. Wow. So the running backs, I think a lot of the second running backs that belong in committees are all getting taken here, which I think is pretty fair given that it's the ninth round now. So I think, a lot of committee value players getting taken. Oh, Rashad Bateman, yeah, no way I was going to get him. Traylon Burks, some expectations there. We'll see how he meshes with DeAndre Hopkins. So in terms of tight ends, I would honestly really like to get Pat Freiermuth. Um, Evan Ingram, I would definitely not get just because, I think that Jacksonville offense is pretty. No! Pat Freiermuth. Oh, man. Heart is broken. Pat Freiermuth. I really, really was eyeing him. I mean, to be fair, it was kind of a stretch. If I wanted him, I should have taken him, but I thought I could wait another round, but that's rough. Well, that's okay. Well, I was just talking smack about Evan Ingram. Now he kind of looks like a good pick. I wouldn't. Dalton Kincaid actually is not a bad value pick either. I would take him maybe a few picks early, but given that he's had some hype coming into the year, so let's see. Zach Charbonnet getting picked, Michael Thomas, Brian Robinson, Anthony Richardson. Okay, so some younger players, rookie running backs, Jalen Warren. Um, all right, so let's see what we have. We have Evan Ingram and we have Kadarius. Tony is our options here. Romeo Dobbs, Odell Beckham. All right, we're on the clock. I would. Evan Ingram just went. That would have been great. I see the tight ends are really dwindling here, so let me take Dalton Kincaid. I really like. I think there's a lot of promise there. Um, let's see what other tight ends are there just to kind of get a good. Hey, it wouldn't a late. I was gonna say a late double tight end formation would have been sick with Njoku, but he just went. Um, I don't think it's worth to really do any late stacking here. Maybe Cole Kmet, but I think I'll go to receivers and just kind of see who's there, or even quarterbacks. Maybe it's time to start looking at quarterbacks. Kenny Pickett's still pretty far down, so. But honestly, let me get another quarterback. Maybe Kirk Cousins isn't a bad idea. Honestly, you know what? Let's get Aaron Rodgers because that Garrett Wilson stack is going to be great. So it was a little bit of an impulsive pick, but just because I have Garrett Wilson, I think that stack will be great. So went on a little bit of a whim there, but got to take risks. Still a lot of great quarterbacks though. I would definitely like to get Kenny. I mean, to be fair, since I couldn't get Freiermuth, I don't know if Kenny Pickett's even worth taking. Um, So maybe if he falls to me later, maybe I'll take him. But in terms of the strategy, I was kind of building a little bit earlier. Probably I think I'm kind of content on taking Rodgers. There you go. And then Daniel Jones went. So to be honest, I was really looking at Kirk Cousins, Geno, and Rodgers. I wasn't really big on Daniel Jones. Given that Saquon's there. I mean, Daniel and Saquon could have been a good stack as well, but I think I would trust Aaron Rodgers a little bit more. So, all right. So I think quarterbacks are all set for now. So let's go back to tight ends. Let's see who's there for tight ends. Sam Laporta's still there, Dalton Schultz. I wouldn't mind taking Cole Kmet, honestly, because I think there could be a special connection there with Justin Fields and Cole Kmet. I wouldn't mind putting him with Dalton Kincaid. I do not think he'll fall. I mean, maybe he will. He's 17 picks away, so maybe let's not think about tight end right now. I think let's look at receivers. That's probably going to be the focus here in this 10th round, and maybe some running backs. So let's kind of make sure to see we don't have any running backs that are kind of losing our eye. So we have Saquon, Travis, Madison, and Connor. So we can honestly, let's take a look here. Jamal Williams would be a really good value pick. So he would be another running back one in New Orleans. So if we can get five running back ones, wow, that would be incredible. So honestly, let's maybe target him, see if he falls to us. And then honestly, tight end. Yeah, we can honestly come back to tight end. Maybe a little torn here. Let's see, receivers. Actually, no, we should take receivers because we haven't gotten them since Brandon Cook. So I think we should definitely get a receiver. And then if Jamal Williams falls to us, let's take Jamal Williams and we'll take another receiver, and then we can kind of we can get a tight end later. Um, but yeah, I think that's what we're gonna do. Sam Laporta got picked, tight end. Tank Bigsby, okay, 10th round pick. Romeo Doubs, Tyler Boyd, Kadarius Toney, Jerick McKinnon. Okay, I was eyeing him as well for running back. Nico Collins, I think that's a sleeper pick as well. Given I think he had a pretty good year last year. So Mims, the rookie in Denver, I think there will be some expectations there. And Cortland Sutton, I think. No, not Cortland Sutton, excuse me. Jerry Jeudy, I think, had a injury setback. Not setback, but I think there was some talk around him being a little banged up, so that could give Mims some, potential breakout opportunities there. I'm not too sure on the injury with Jerry Jeudy, but don't want to give any misquotes, but something to look at for Mims. Odell Beckham Jr. getting taken in the 11th round. Okay, Jordan Love, 11th round pick. Okay, wow. Wait, let's take a look at quarterbacks here. Wow, I'm surprised Jordan Love went before Geno, Jared Goff too. Wow, I'm surprised he went pretty early in my opinion. LR Cole, is there a reason why? Oh, I mean, you have some this he has Trevor Lawrence and Josh Allen. So to be honest, it doesn't even matter. Um, so Geno Smith, and then it's Shawnee. Jamal Williams, got picked. All right, so let's see who the running backs are. Rashad Penny, okay, not a bad pick. Elijah Mitchell, Raheem Mostert, Damon Harris, Algier Gainwell. So running backs, maybe I don't know. Tight end, Dalton Schultz, Higbee, Cole Kmet. Let's see what receivers are there. Darnell Mooney, Joey Myers. Let's take Lazard just because we have Aaron Rodgers. I really like that stack. I think we're going to rely heavily on the stack here just because we don't have a backup quarterback just yet. So I would say let's take Alan Lazard. He's just that extra insurance. Let's hope he doesn't get picked here. See, there would be a quadruple stack right there. So it kind of works out in terms of the strategy I was going for. Van Jefferson, Alan Lazard. There we go. Raheem Mostert. Okay. All right. We're so Rashad Penny, Damian Harris, Dalton Schultz, Higbee. I don't want to take a tight end again. So you know what? Let me. You know what? I'm gonna go Rashad Penny. Just KJ. This always happens. Guy getting. I need to give myself a bigger buffer. But KJ Osborne as a receiver, I don't think that's a terrible pick. Kind of strengthens up the receivers a little bit. Um, so and to be honest, I mean we have some solid running backs anyway. So, but I think we should definitely get one. We haven't gotten one since James Conner. So I would say let's definitely get a running back next. All right, we're 18 picks away, so we got a little bit of time. So we look at Darnell Mooney, Brock Purdy, Donald Sanders. That's interesting. Let's see. Snarls. So Ezekiel Elliott in New England. Oh, I think we had a Oh, sorry about that. A little technical difficulty there, but we're back. Just gotta be a little careful with the mouse. Rashad Penny. All right, got him picked. Damon Harris, Buffalo. I think I like Deion Jackson. I mean, it's still pretty far away given where we picked, so I'm not too sure how it's gonna look like in terms of who will be left or who will be available to say. So I like Deion Jackson just because he's running back one right now. So we would still continue our trend of having consistent running back ones in our running back slot. So I'm gonna target Deion Jackson just because of that report saying he will be running back one in light of the Jonathan Taylor situation. Um, Given that we have a decent amount of receivers, I wouldn't mind taking two running backs in this situation. And I really, really like Condre Miller just because if Jamal Williams gets hurt, and he did have some injury issues last year here and there, he would be the next man up. I really like that rookie value. I think he would be a good guy to take. Let's just take a quick look at the running backs and see who else is there that we can really take that we can get that we can take for a sleeper value. No, I think I'm good with Deion Jackson and Condre Miller. So let's quickly look at who's gotten picked. Rasheed Rice, Kansas City. Cole Kmet, there we go. That's the tight end that I was looking at. Probably wouldn't, so won't be able to get him. Derek Carr, Reed, Algier. So we're still 10 picks away, so we got a lot of time. So let's take a look at the tight ends here too, just to see who's because we only have one. So ideally we should get another tight end, maybe two, honestly, but I'm not that worried given that our receivers are really strong and our running backs are loaded. So, and we also need a quarterback. So we got a couple of positions to kind of fill in here as we kind of get into towards the near end of the draft. So who are my quarterbacks that are left? Or who are the quarterbacks? So Kenny Pickett's still there, Matthew Stafford's still there. So we got a few good guys available. So, but I think I'm gonna take running back right now just to kind of lock that up. I think once I take another running back here, I think I might be all set. And I think receiver I'm good too, at least for now. Oh, sorry, I think I did not see your question. Do I think 109 for 111 is fair? To be honest, off of initial face value, I thought it was, but you know, later on you got to realize that trading up for two positions in the first round is like trading up like, between like a fifth or sixth or like that much of a discrepancy is there. So I think it's definitely worth to consider. And I think, trading draft picks itself is an art. It's you're trading, the future. You're trading away, things you're not in control of apart from, making the actual transaction. So I think draft pick trading is definitely an art in itself of trading in general. So definitely a learning curve there. So but that's what makes the game better. So um, to answer your question, long story short, it would be fair. You got to throw in couple other things to even it out. And I think Deion Jackson is a good value pick, and I am gonna go with him. What? Okonkwo? Well, at least we needed a tight end. But all right, let me really get Deion Jackson here because I don't know why this keeps happening. Keep getting players that I don't necessarily want to take, but we got another tight end who's not necessarily bad. So, all right, let's lock in Deion Jackson right here. All right, I honestly, we can still get Condre Miller because he's still pretty deep, pretty low. Actually, I don't know. Damn, this keeps happening. Gotta be careful here. Well, still like my team. It's not like I lost any great value there, but our running backs are still loaded, so I'm not too worried. So we have, as of right now, we have five running back ones. So honestly, missing out on a running back two isn't the end of the world if he doesn't fall to us. Um, so let's see. Isaiah Hodgins, Matthew Stafford, Dalton Schultz, Gerald Everett. So a couple tight ends getting picked here. Another one, yeah. So tight ends getting picked here in the 13th, 14th round. Okonkwo, and then Thielen, Juwan Johnson, Myers, Jonathan Mingo. Kenny Pickett got taken, missed a few picks here, so just kind of going through. So mixture of receivers, running backs. Not some tight ends are getting taken here. So definitely want to take a quarterback here just because we only have Rodgers. And we unexpectedly took a tight end anyway. So I think it's safe to say let's take a quarterback and receiver the next time just because we haven't picked a receiver in some time after KJ Osborne. So let's get a good receiver that's left, and then let's kind of take it from there. We can finish this draft out strong. And I see Joshua Palmer still here. Yeah, but he's still pretty low. So let's see if we can get somebody a little bit of higher value. Justin Ross, I mean, I would like that just because of Mahomes. Rashid Shaheed had some great plays towards the end of the season last year. He would be a good sleeper pick. Tank Dell, Irv Smith, Rondell Moore, Gallup, Everett. So another tight end getting taken. Russell Wilson, quarterback. Yeah, so I think it's really pivotal to get a quarterback here. I mean, I'm 10 picks away. I feel like I might have taken a little too much time in drafting a quarterback, so I'm not really sure in terms of the quality I'll get here, but can't be. I think ideally I should go Bryce Young or Ryan Tannehill. Those are probably the two best guys that are left for me. 6 picks away, yeah, I think I should definitely take one of those guys. But I'm not too mad at just Rodgers leading the way, just because you have Garrett Wilson and you have Alan Lazard, two targets that he's really gotten close to. If you guys have watched Hard Knocks, I've watched some of it just to see how it looks. But there's some connections going on there. So Rodgers got to make big plays if you want to be in a big city. So I'm really hoping Rodgers, lives up to the hype for this particular team. Otherwise, he's just Rodgers to me. So there you go. Condre Miller got picked. Curtis Samuel, Shaheed. Yeah, so let's get a quarterback here, just so we can, lock in that, and then we can go receiver. I think the draft kind of slows down here as we're kind of winding down. I think we wrap it up at 17. Kareem Hunt, okay, so some little bit of risk there, given that he does not have a team yet. So, Shark. All right, so quarterbacks. Let's get Bryce Young. Let's take a chance on the rookie. What? Why am I getting these random Devontae Parker? Well, this keeps happening to me. I don't know why. Let me kill Bryce Young right here. Man, I really gotta figure this out in terms of why these players. I mean, am I randomly clicking on these guys? I'm not sure. Let me take Bryce Young here. Well, Devontae Parker. I mean, I hope we. I mean, New England. So a little bit of maybe I can kind of back this pick up with a little bit of bias, even though I didn't want to pick him. But not a bad choice. I mean, receivers are still solid. So and I think maybe we can get a tight end. Quarterback, we got Rodgers and Young. Tight end, we got Dawson Knox, K. Dotton. I think running backs we're all set on. I think we got some great values there. We got all running backs one's percent basically. Uh, yeah, second or third time this random picking has happened. So I gotta have one draft where that doesn't happen. That's my goal. But I really like my team, especially my running backs. I think they're definitely my strength, and I like the Garrett Wilson, Aaron Rodgers connection. I like DJ Moore and George Pickens. I think the rest are all pretty safe value picks. Cooks, Lazard, Osborne. Even though Osborne and Parker weren't of my particular choice. Even DJ Moore as well. I wanted Mike Williams. Even those three, but I'm still confident about those guys just because they still bring in some production, and I'm pretty confident about them overall. So I think that can work out. And plus, I got Dalton Kincaid as a good tight end who has a lot of hype, and you got Josh Allen thrown to him. So I'm pretty confident in my receiving units, and like I said earlier, my running backs are my strength. So feeling really good about my team. All right, so we're 11 picks away. So let's kind of see who's gotten picked. So Conklin, Chandler, Deontay Foreman, do I forgot his name, so I'm just gonna say Vaughn, Wilson, Henry, Justin Ross, I think, Jeff Wilson, Gus Edwards, um, Chuba Hubbard. So essentially, like backup running backs, guys that would come in if the first or second guy comes up injured. So I think we're good on running backs. I don't think it's worth to pick another one unless some really good guy falls to us, which I think it's just best to stack up on receivers. And I think we should take another tight end as well. Hayden Hurst, Carolina is not a bad pick at all. Dawson Knox. I mean, hey man, if Don Kincaid has a lot of production, and God forbid if he gets hurt though, Dawson Knox is right back to where he was last year in terms of being a big end zone target for Josh Allen, and he just got picked. That's great. Well, that's a good pick for you, man. Notorious parlay. Joshua Palmer. That's a great pick. He actually fell really, really hard because he was announced as a WR3 today, and he got picked in the 17th round. So I think that's a really good steal there. Um, running receivers. Let's see who's here. I'm gonna take. I'm gonna take Hayden Hurst here as a tight end. I think there's definitely good value I can get there. Carolina, Bryce Young too, so I can get that stack. So let's get Hayden Hurst. And then, let's look at receivers. You got Hunter Renfrow, Slayton, Hardman, Mechie. Slayton just got picked. All right. Why? Why? I mean, Jimmy Garoppolo. Why does this keep happening? I didn't even pick him. All right, something gotta look into something here. Well, I was thinking about getting another quarterback anyway, so I'm pretty satisfied overall. I mean, you got three quarterbacks, five running backs, seven receivers, three tight ends. I mean, you can't really complain this late in the draft. I think I got who I wanted. Overall. Maybe a couple guys I missed here and there, but I'm pretty satisfied. I would have loved to get Mike Williams and Garrett Wilson to have my as my two strong receivers, but I think that's fine. And you got George Pickens, and you got some good value there. And like I said earlier, my running backs are my strength. The fact that I didn't pick a single running back after 158, and we're at 200 right now. I think I'm really really confident in how my running backs are going to turn out. All running back ones, all healthy as well. I don't think there's a single injury, touch wood. So these guys will take us the distance, I'm telling you. And then if you add in the stacks, couple of stacks here, Rodgers and Wilson, Rodgers and Lazard, and you got Bryce Young and Hayden Hurst. So hey, the only downside is these guys have the same buy, so can't really use them to an advantage here. But always good to have backup. See, the good thing is here that with these, even though Madison and Barkley have they have the same buy, you still have Etienne, Connor, and Deion Jackson if he holds up his running back one to back you up. So that's pretty solid. DJ Moore, you got a receiver. That's okay. You still got Garrett Wilson, all these guys. You got Kincaid. So week 13 would actually be a big week to really, see if our team can get the win. So, but I feel like our depth will really cover us. Week 7 and week 13, just off of a simple eye test, I think will be a big test for us. So, given that, do I really want Jimmy G as my quarterback on week 7? Because that's where it's going. But I think I got faith in Jimmy G. I got trust. I got trust in Josh McDaniels. So Evan Hall, Renfro, Claypool, Tannehill, Hardman, Otten, Mayer, Tillman. So I think we're just about wrapping up here. Overall roster, like I said, I'm feeling really good about it. I think definitely some great value here. QBs, I wish I could have gotten that. I could have waited around earlier, but I'm still confident in that. Um, and receivers, tight ends, missed a couple here and there, but overall pretty confident. So week 7 and week 13, I would say are the big weeks. Oh, excuse me. Week 7 and week 13, I would say are the big weeks to watch out for. But apart from that, I think we're looking at a potential playoff team here. So I think that wraps it up. Uh, yep, that wraps it up. So we are done. Please give us a follow and please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Please follow us, Fantasy Lom. Until next time, cheers.